The Virtual Grip Network and the Bootleg Racing League welcome you to the Grand National Series presented by Gargamel's Kitchen as we get ready to go racing at the Lanier Raceplex here on iRacing. My name's Justin Prince. Alongside the booth tonight is Marty Sikawa with our producer Daniel Handover as we get ready to go racing at a very tight circuit. 0.38 miles this racetrack, Marty. The tension's expected to be high, but the championship implications rising quickly.
Justin, good evening. This should be a fun one. When you take a look at the points tonight, Matthew Thunhorst currently leads the standings. Just 4 markers separate J.R. Shepard. Thunhorst with an incredible race last week. Shepard did not even make the podium after Thunhorst won last week, in case you missed us, in a fun one at Myrtle Beach. Lanier, a track that is a lot similar to South Boston. Multiple grooves can take place, especially with the banking here, but the straightaways are a little bit flatter compared to what we had at South Boston a couple weeks ago. So look for that in all of this tonight.
You mentioned some of those characteristics expected for tonight. Let's take a quick glance towards the racetrack, in fact, here for Lanier, because it's worth noting on iRacing this facility is called the Lanier National Speedway because it went through a period of being defunct, so to speak. It did not operate for a good 4 or 5 years before being turned into a go-kart complex. In the real world, it's called the Raceplex, and it's where in the infield, it's now fully paved with tarmac in the center, meaning all the buildings and all the grass are gone in the real world. But these drivers in the virtual world have been putting up some very quick times and putting up a very tough championship fight. Matthew Thunhorst, 4 points up over J.R. Shepard entering tonight for reference, Marty, as a result of his run last time out, and J.R. not making that podium.
Absolutely. JR is going to need to fight big time here. We've got 4 races to go in entering tonight, and Shepard's going to need to hope for a Thunhorst outside of the top 3. And Shepard trying to win a race so we can try and answer back and try and close in the points big time. Every position matters here for these final 4 races. Again, 4-point lead, 1 point per position.
Now, as these drivers get ready to go, one of the drivers you see up there, who was up there at least, or ended up making a trip down towards Daytona Beach, Florida, was Kenny Kivy, as he's now joining us here with the broadcast booth. He's our in-race reporter for today's action. Kenny, you're on track right now. How are you feeling about Lanier tonight?
I feel all right. I mean, the car's pretty tight, and it's going to be... You have to drive these things with a lot of finesse, and we're going to be starting pretty deep in the field today, so it'll be kind of a challenge, but I've always liked this place. I've had good success here, and looking forward to it.
How did you enjoy last weekend, by the way? I believe it was Daytona as being a part of the first Points Being Next Gen race?
Yeah, we ran top split NIS Open this past week, full distance, and we got 4th, so it was a good run. I think this week will be our first real test in that car here at California. Tomorrow morning I'll be running that, but yeah, it's exciting to drive a new car, still trying to get used to not having an H pattern anymore, but yeah, it's been fun.
Let's talk about this race tonight, though. Your nocturnal gaming machine, as you mentioned, starting towards the back. Your expectations in terms of what we should see for this evening. 100 laps on the board.
Well, I hope you guys get to see me pass a lot of cars. I mean, I feel good about this place, but it's going to come down to hopefully I can be on the bottom at the right times, and hopefully we can have a long green flag run. I think that'll really suit me. If we have caution after caution, that might put us back a ways, but yeah, we've gone almost caution-free here before, and that really seems to play into my strong suit, so I hope we can just run it green for a while.
Let you get back to the final moments of practice. Good luck, Kenny.
Thanks.
Once again, that's Kenny Kivy. He missed last time out due to personal commitments, meaning he'll start towards the back today. Take the time real quick to remind you that this series is presented by Gargamel's Kitchen, a food-grade nitrous oxide provider located in Denver, Colorado, and a proud sponsor of the Bootleg Racing League. Visit their office at 2045 South Valentia Street, or give them a call at 720-707-6178. J.R. Shepard had the fastest time in practice tonight, a 14:102, followed by Jason Menda, Kenny Kibbe, Mike Holloway, Matthew Thunhorst, top 5. But now, It's about the time that matters. Race time. The drivers are making the way towards the starting grid, and the sun has come out to introduce your drivers for tonight. Starting in the pole with the inversion is Joe Segala in the 81. Mike Holloway will start in second. Steven Spies starts in third tonight, and with attendance being a bit more tighter this evening, J.R. Shepard jumps up to fourth. Justin Morton in turn jumps up to fifth, while Matthew Thunhorst up to sixth. Keep in mind, Austin Belke, who ended up having the podium run last time, did not make tonight's field. Ryan Seneca and Bruce Pearson in the top 8. Ruben Altis, Todd Liston, your top 10, Marty.
Kurt Smith and Donnie Moore make up row number 6. Row 7, watch that closely. Adam Shane on the inside, and on the outside, we talked with them earlier, the return of Kenny Kibbe. And then in the final row, you may want to watch this one closely. Jason Menda on the inside in that 45 was second in practice, so we'll have to see how he does. Chris Davis rounds out the field of 16.
That's a look top to bottom at the running order here tonight on the Virtual Grip Network for the Bootleg Racing League's Grand National Series, which is approaching its final few races before its car changes talked about a few days ago. The track temperatures, though, very hot for this one. 89 degrees Fahrenheit. Air temp is 84 degrees Fahrenheit. Most cloudy skies, with the winds currently gusting at 8 miles per hour to the northwest. Realistic skies and dynamic sky in turn. Real in sim time, rather, approaching 8 p.m. already on iRacing Day, May 15th, 2022. Joe Segala already all set to lead the field to green in his blue and silver machine. Those eyes on that front bumper looking bright. Hallway on the outside. iRacing pace car is off. Green flag is out. We're underway from Lanier.
And that's an interesting start there for Segala. Holloway was just caught sleeping, allows Steven Spies to get second, and Morton will take away the third spot here. Low line will probably be the line where everyone will want to be here as early as possible here in the race. Yeah, that's second groove can work barely, but you have to be as close to the door of the driver down low of you as soon as possible if you want to try and play defense.
Look at that, though. Mike Holloway already shuffled to 6th as a result of starting outside front row. Thunhorst up 2. Shepard already shuffled to 5th with that. And the first side-by-side is all the way back in 7th, Ryan Seneca, Bruce Pearson. In other words, your championship favorites, Marty, taking advantage quickly with their starting positions.
Absolutely. Thunhorst, after lap 2, had the quickest lap of the race at a 14:26. Spies actually just answers that back. And currently in second with a 14:21. But right now for Thunhorst and Shepard, it's patient. Just like how they've done the entire season long. It's a long 100-lap race. Just about an hour. Got to make your way up from inside the top 8 to the front of the field. And that's what Thunhorst and Shepard are doing. Thunhorst trying to look for third on Morton here.
See how some of these drivers are trying to sort themselves out. Like Pearson nearly to the quarter panel of Donnie Moore. We're able to make the pass as a result, and just like that, Todd Liston in all of this is now in 8th position. Of note, Kenny Kibbe also on the charge. He's up 4 spots in 7 laps so far.
Kibbe currently the biggest mover of the race in the 10th position. Next guy ahead of him is Donnie Moore for 9th. He is racking off 14:33s at the moment. Everyone else just about 14:4s and 14:5s. At the moment. Meanwhile, near the front, top 4 still single file.
That patience game going to be so critical when it comes to this racetrack. It's so easy to push your tires so hard that you end up falling back quickly with how much you're turning. Keep in mind, you're basically not ever really going straight here.
Absolutely. What you're pretty much doing is when you get out of the corner, you want to try and pretty much get on the as high as you can on the center line. Then once you get there, you're pretty much turning the car to the left, trying to apex it. It's pretty much like you're driving in a circle here around Lanier. That's something interesting. Lanier as well. Remember, shorter straightaways compared to South Boston. South Boston, 0.4 of a mile long. This track is 0.375 miles. And here we go. Critical championship moment. Shepard looking for 4th on Thunhorst. Shepard, remember, is angry after last week at Myrtle Beach. He wants to make his way up and closing that points deficit. 4-point lead coming in.
Here's a look from the helicopter cam as Thunhorst lost the bottom. Shepard has noted a few times, as we've seen on track, and he's not been afraid to dive in underneath those yellow dotted lines with this type of racing. Thunhorse still up in the middle line, giving plenty of space to J.R. Shepard, not really pinching him, Marty, just allowing him to hold on to the bottom, it seems, but also getting dicey with Shepard, how hard he's been pushing it himself.
Well, both of them actually just got loose off of turn 2, I think. It's getting pretty crazy here at Lanier in the early stages. You see there, by the way, Thunder's giving just enough room for Shepard, just holding that second line. Once we get into the waning laps of this race, you're going to see drivers trying to get as close to the door as possible and try and pinch them down that apron, which can be possible to go underneath.
After that near contact a couple laps ago, Thunhorse is starting to really pinch down by another half a track now, as Justin Morton still holds on to third. Thunhorse is outside the 9.
Yeah,
this is while Speeds is going for the race lead. He's trying to cross over. Sagawa gets checked up.
Yeah, I was just about to say, first off about Thunderhorse, this is actually working out for him. Better exit using that banking as advantage, even though there's not a lot of banking here around Lanier, but taking as much as he can out of it on the exits. He's losing, oh boy, dirt tracking it into turn 3. That's going to cost him major spots all the way back to 6. The big moment for Matthew Thunderhorse. Shepard up 2 points at the moment, closes the gap to 2 points in the championship.
What a time for a mistake for Thunhorse after so many laps up top. Can he get back into a rhythm now as he's stuck behind Mike Holloway? And remember, you burn those tires up quickly.
Yep.
At any point, or end up overheating one of the tires, in particular the right rear. You only have a couple laps to be able to try and cool it on down. Otherwise, you're in trouble the rest of the way. Thunhorse, last time, still running in the same ballpark as the rest of the leaders. He's trying to pass Holloway still.
Here we go. Thunderhorse inside. He's got the run up on the door, and I think Holloway, if I'm him, just pretty much let Thunderhorse go at the moment. He's in a big race at the moment for the championship. If I'm Holloway, I don't want to be the one that ruins it and be the elephant in the room.
So there is the spot swap now for Thunhorse up to 5th position. Here's the look up towards the very front because Speeds, as mentioned, he's been trying to pass the 81 the past few laps. The pace really slowing on down, it seems, with Sagawa leading his most laps in a row this season in this series.
I give credit to Joe Sagawa there for just not even looking at the rear view mirror and just looking on ahead of him. And then when his virtual spotter says he's inside, just try and race it out here at the moment. Speed's trying everything, though. Gotta give him credit. Not being way too aggressive, not trying to drive it in deep. He's just following his race and just trying to see where Justin Morton's going as well.
Did I mention that Sagawa finished 2nd in the late model race earlier tonight to J.R. Shepard?
You have not.
And did I mention Sagawa's 2nd in that
Caution.
championship? But now it gets interesting. The caution is out.
And Chris
Couple
Davis.
cars. Davis has just spun under caution.
And this was, I think, because of him. Wait till you see this replay in turns 3 and 4. He made a fantastic save at first, but it caused the iRacing to bring the yellow flag out, and he just pretty much lost his tires or something, had a big wheel hop entering turn 1. Wait till you see this replay. He was battling with Altis for 14th position. Let's see if we can get this out here. But I tell you something, when you first see this, Chris Davis made a great save until the yellow flew.
Yeah,
here you go. And this is it right here with Davis.
Watch for it coming out of from the front straightaway to turn 1.
Right there. Oh, excuse me. It's coming up. It's coming up this corner because it was off the back straightaway first. Yeah, you see how the car wheel up. I think we've got a wrong angle of that.
Yeah, try to spin around here for this. Keep an eye on those rear tires, and you can already see just the line he's been taking. He's been making the habit, it seems, Marty, of clipping that apron.
Absolutely. You don't want to be doing that really early on here in this event. If you do, it's going to come back to bite you. And checking to see if this is it. But yeah, it happened on lap 25, and Davis just pretty much lost it. So back under caution, and we should be getting either 1 or 2 to green this time.
He did lose a lap, mind you. There it is right there. You see that little twitch coming down the front straightaway. Saved it the first time. That was enough for the caution, but then he heated up the tires from the initial slide. He still let the tires back up to spin it.
Now this yellow definitely helps out Matthew Thunhurst because he gets to cool his tires off for sure and close his way in on J.R. Shepard to bunch them back up together here for this restart. Double file as we're ready to get back to the green.
All set to go as Joe Sagawa has led them all so far, all 30 laps. Can he hold on after this restart? Speed's on the outside, green flag is out. A launch for Sagawa. He's not clear though. Speeds is trying to make the outside work. Shepard is stuck on the outside after this launch.
And this could help out Thunhurst. Watch that battle closely for 4th position. Everyone's still 2 by 2. It's like a Delaware double restart at speeds of 90 miles an hour. Sagawa clearing, and Morton's got the run. He's up to 2nd, and Shepard's got the overtake for 4th, maybe 3rd. Speeds is in no man's land at the moment.
Morton 2nd. Thunhorst now battling for 3rd as Speeds gets stuck on the outside indeed. Kenny Kibbe looking to take advantage too, as well as the 2 of Hallway, his best run of the campaign.
Yeah,
Speeds not able to do anything. Shepard for 4th.
Yeah, how about Kibbe, by the way? Big all trouble behind them. Donnie Moore gets turned, and we're wadding them up with Adam Shane at the, that's on the back, no, on the front straightaway. Yellow is out.
And I think it's more so Donnie Moore who hit the back end of the car in front of him, and that was Shane. In the midst of a checkup with Jason Menda for her 2nd caution. 22 of Bruce Pearson also picking up damage as we're under yellow once more in quick succession.
Yeah, it was pretty much an accordion stack up here off turn 4, off the corner of our eyes here. And there was contact there for sure. Moore was just trying to let off on Adam Shane when he got up into the front end, to the rear end of Menda, excuse me. And it just caused Altis to get into the 26, but that's more on Donnie Moore. Seneca also a part of it too. Here's the replay here for you. Watch closely. Shane in turn 3. Right there, got loose. Yeah.
Nowhere for Pearson to go at least, other than just drive on through and pick up the damage. He doesn't end up repairing it.
Now this yellow, I think, once again, I would say helps out. I don't know if I would say it would help out. It would definitely help out Steven Spees for sure, because he gets back on the inside line number 1. But I don't know if I want to say yet if this helps out Matthew Thunhurst. He gets back on the inside line, but again, we have seen some drivers work that outside line tonight. Thunhurst and Shepard have a lot of similar skills when it comes to their talents in iRacing. So maybe we could possibly be seeing Shepard work that outside line. I'm like, don't trust me on that, but we'll just have to wait and find out.
I will say this, from what I've seen, Marty, to validate part of that point is short run. You want to be on the bottom.
Yes.
Long run, because of some of the checkups at the front, the top was starting to roll with drivers trying to find their way around the race leader in Joe Sagawa. Not the easiest place to do so, though, as we get the 1 to go. So keep an eye on that again. Sagawa, Morden, Thunhorst, Shepard, Spees, Kibbe, Hallway, Liston. The top 8 currently. iRacing pace car is off. Green flag is out. Much better start from Sagawa this time. Does Morden try and late break it, though? Ooh. He tried it. Couldn't get there.
He's got a hole, though, so he could cut down in front of Thunhurst if he wanted to. No, he doesn't. I'm very surprised because he had just enough room to shut the door in front of Thunhurst for 2nd position, but this may still be working out for him, Justin. He wants this race lead on Sagawa badly, and Thunhurst is pretty much trapped in the 81's path, and here comes Shepard for P3 on the track. Is that going to work?
Morton leads his first lap of the race, using the outside line. Look at the exit. Sagawa pushing hard, this time even with Morton. Thunhorst all with the back bumper.
Morton pushed it a lot harder off of turn 2. You can see that rear end get a little bit sideways off of turn 2 that last time out, fighting it really hard. And something I was watching as well in that 2nd row. Watch Shepard here closely. just right up on the door of Thunderhorse. He's giving him enough room, but at the same time trying to pinch him, but it didn't work out for Shepard. Bad exit compared to Thunderhorse, but the battle's still on for the lead.
Only 2 drivers in this lead group electing to stay up top. Morton for the lead, and Hallway battling for the inversion spot with Ruben Altis. This time, Morton gets the lead lap once again. Sagawa doesn't want to let this race slip away, though, in the virtual trackside bar and grill machine. He continues to hug the bottom, slides up top once again. Morton still gets the lead lap this time, coming towards halfway.
Incredible racing going on here from the top spot. They nearly touch off of turn number 2. You got Kibbe in this battle. He's in 5th position. The leaders are just single file trying to avoid getting into the mess, possibly, of Sagala if that happens to develop. This is getting insane. Oh, they go up the track.
Both of them slipping and sliding. Sagawa later on the brakes this time, trying to get the nose ahead. Morton, though, looking more comfortable on the power, Marty, and on entry into turn 1. And now they're starting to check each other behind them.
Yeah, Morton getting really aggressive first off on his tires. He just locked them up into turn 3. There was a puff of smoke there. At the same time, you got to be careful because of those top 2 drivers, because they are using up their tires for sure. Thunderhorse, Shepard, and Kibbe, they are just enjoying what they're seeing in front of them because they can just take it easy on the tires and easy on the brakes. For right now, these 2 drivers side by side, they're just thinking, all right, how am I going to clear this guy at the moment?
To put this into perspective, the race leaders, 14 6s and 14 7s. A majority of those behind them, while they're maintaining most of that pace, have been at times dropping with some of the major checkups into the 8s and 9s. So they do have that ability to slow it down a touch if this continues to intensify. Sagawa can't get the runs he's been having before in the bottom now. Morton again, a good pull on the outside. Still leads just past halfway. This grouping stretches back to 11th, mind you.
Oh, no.
6 seconds back.
Bad exit for J.R. Shepard off of turn 2. Cost himself about a car length. The top 2 almost touch again. They almost went up the track and into the wall. And let's see what Thunderhorse does. Bad corner by Sagala. Morton, I think, could clear into turn 3. No, he can't. Sagala sent it, and he's close. He's sideways into Thunderhorse. What a save.
Matthew Thunderhorse helps save Sagawa. No damage. We stay green.
But now the question is, although short track racing isn't really like at this track really aerodynamic dependent, but how does this do to the damage of Matthew Thunderhorse and maybe J.R. Shepard potentially? I don't think Shepard got a piece of that, but boy, it was close.
Any harder contact, and that may have completely flipped the championship complexion upside down. Sagawa instead, his race, after leading 43 of the first 56, he's now battling for an inversion spot at the end of the top 8. In fact, he drops to 8th position with Ruben Altis underneath.
I just went to look at the replay here, Justin. Shepard did not get any damage out of that. Thunderhorse, he looks clean. I don't even think there's any cosmetic damage at all. Doesn't even think he scuffed the paint. And he's looking for the race lead. He's got to run to the inside.
Up at the very front of the field you're referring to, Thunderhorse to the inside, got the run underneath the 9. Morton, remember, was up top for about 20 straight laps. Thunderhorse walks on by him to take the race lead for the first time. Shepard looking to do the same.
Yeah, Morton's in a little bit of trouble. Remember, because he was side by side, using up his tires more compared to Thunderhorse and Shepard. And now that's just costing Morton a ton of time. Thunderhorse trying to pull away from this battle for second position. And I think Shepard's got the advantage here off of turn 2. Steven Spies enjoying this as well. How about Spies, by the way? Staying inside the top 4. I'll give him a shout out as well. Well, we've got that battle for second happening.
As we talked about when it comes to Spies, been running a part-time campaign this season. Was at one point dead last in the point standings. Remember, he also races a majority on the dirt.
Yes.
So far for Spies, he's looking for his first podium in a long time in this series. He's side by side with Morton for 3rd position.
I think Morton could get the better exit here. That's what Morton's been really good at so far today. Excuse me, is those exits. We saw that in the battle with Joe Sagala, who, by the way, the ladder's already gone back to 11th. But the battle for 3rd, though, Steven Spies, like you said, yeah, first podium in a long time with that Gambler Motorsports number 55. And then Menda and Kibbe, who came from the back of the field, are just following in the footsteps. And there's contact between Morton and Spies, I think. If not, it was netcode.
The last time I remember seeing Spies inside the top 3 in the finishing order was in around season 2 or 3. It's been that long. It's been nearly a year and a half. Spies is up to 3rd. Menda, he's looking for what would be his first podium ever with the 45, trying to battle for 4th now, trying to keep up with him.
Yeah, remember I told you pre-race Menda would be someone to watch closely. He had the 2nd quickest time of everyone in practice, and I said if this guy can work it on the long run, he could be a threat. Well, look what he's doing. Passes the worn-out tires of Morton for 4th position. Not clear yet, but he's got 4th at the moment. And Kibbe just doing the same thing, working with Menda. I don't know if that was a strategy between the two all along from the drop of the green.
Keep in mind, all this is while Kenny Kibbe's had the calmest race of them all, it seems, despite starting his very back. He was returning the fastest laps of the track at one point, closing up to the leaders. He is now in the midst here for a fight for 5th position.
Absolutely. Comparing that, he is right now, because of those two drivers being side by side, he is losing 2/10 on average compared to the race leaders. So if I'm Kibbe and I'm thinking I'm the fastest car on the track, I'd be like, all right, I think it's time to go. 30 laps to go. Bad corner from Morton there. Bad center, I should say, in general. That car got really tight, and so Kibbe just uses that to his advantage.
As I said, in the midst. And Kenny Kibbe takes advantage in the reality for the position. Todd List in trouble. Has been shuffled about a touch bit in the 87. No caution, though. We stay green. Liston has been dealing with touch bits of technical issues. Remember, was in the top 8 at one point. Here's a look at one of the arm battles towards the back groupings. Donnie Moore, who picked up a victory in modified action earlier tonight. Looking to fight hard. This time with Ryan Seneca. This is for 12th.
Yeah, and a tough break for Donnie Moore after that spin that brought out the 2nd yellow of the day. I know this was a race that he was definitely looking forward to after all that motivation coming off of winning the modified. But all Donnie Moore's just got to think of is right now, just run your race. Don't take any too big aggressive moves like he just did there in turn number 3. I wouldn't be running way too aggressive at this point. Battle going on for 4th meanwhile. Kibbe inside on Menda.
Making it look easy right now, but look at the bubbling. We've seen it earlier with some drivers. Both drivers have utilized the right rear tire a little bit too much. Kibbe, though, utilizes the whole truck to make the pass.
He don't care at all. That's Kenny Kibbe. If he knows he's... Oh, hang on, Mike Holloway. Holy cow, what a save.
Mike Holloway with those rear tires starting to light up. Nearly lost it down the front straightaway. No caution, we stay green. He shuffled back to 11th. Altice is now inside the top 8.
So let me tell you this, by the way. Kibbe, now that he's gone away from the side-by-side battles, he's definitely running faster lap times, that's for sure. Only thing, though, is right now, last time by, he was 0.04 of a second slower than Matthew Thunhurst.
When it comes to Kibbe, he might not be able to get a chance to win this Marty without a caution flag.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
If he picks up the tempo,
he maybe done
he can have a shot, or he can nearly spin it. Here comes Morton now to the bottom for 4th.
They are just using up the rear ends tonight for sure. Too much right foot. Oh, trouble! That speeds on the 55. No caution.
He's off the racing surface. Now he backs up. Will that trigger the caution in front of the leader? Yes, it does. Caution is out. Speeds from the podium spots has towed the car. Speeds is out of contention with under 20 laps to go.
Oh, man. I'm heartbroken now, Justin. I know we're supposed to be neutral, but I was rooting for this guy to have a great finish today, and he just lost it off of turn 2. I don't know if it was too much right foot. I would just have to listen to the onboard here. And yeah, he just lost it. The rear end, I think, just got light from underneath him. And as I listened here on my own end, yep, it was way too much right foot and into the inside wall. Now, it wasn't going to trigger a caution out. Yeah, listen.
It'll take a couple laps to get towards that mark. You can already hear a little bit just how on edge these drivers were.
Yeah, now what I was going to say, by the way, I'll wait here until he gets off of turn 2. Now what I was going to say, by the way, is that, after all that, I really did forget what I was going to say.
Well, we've seen the drivers getting towards this loose time a long bit because of right foot, and he clipped the apron. We've seen a touch bit, Marty.
Absolutely. Now, here's what I remember I was going to say. Now, if he stays right there, that doesn't trigger a yellow. But I think he wanted to get back going. He put it in reverse, and once he did, got it back. When he got above that yellow line, that's considered on track. And when Liston got by, yellow lights came on, and that's what brought the yellow out. And this changes everything, Justin. However, though, I still think this isn't going to really help out Morton or Kibbe at all, considering how Thunhurst and Shepard have done throughout the day in terms of the side-by-side racing. Thunhurst and Shepard have had less time to do with that compared to Morton and Kibbe. We're ready to go. Green flag racing, 14 to go.
Gonna get interesting when we get that 14 to go signal this time around. Thunhurst and Shepard. Remember, Thunhurst had a 2.5-second lead before the caution. Morton, Kibbe, Menda, Shane, the top 6. Green flag is out. A good launch for the 8. Shepard tries to make it work on the outside. Morning keeps up to the bumper.
And Shepard had a good launch too in that 98. Not as good of an exit compared to Thunhurst. I think something as well that Thunhurst should be glad about is, who knows, maybe lap traffic would have been something to put in that equation if we were going to go green to the end. But now, not anymore. It won't be a factor. Here's Morton, P2.
Morton's still not clear, though, at the moment, and this could hold both of them up, if anything, and be exactly what Matthew Thunhurst wants to see. Morton continues to get squeezed now by Shepard. The give and take is going away, all while Shane's spots are going away. He's been shuffled back to 7th by Altis.
Yeah, absolutely not where Adam Shane wants to be. Keep in mind, battle for the pole invert on the line, too, between Kurt Smith and Joe Segala. Segala currently, after he got wicked loose while battling for the race lead earlier, battle for second, actually. Go to the battle for second. Morton inside. Yeah, Morton could have second here, and that would be huge for Thunhurst once again.
Morton with the better run. Shepard got a little bit loose. Of note, Shane nearly spun off the corner for 7th. Morton trying to lean on the right rear tire. Gets clear under 10 to go. 9 now on the board.
Now let's see what happens here if Kibbe gets to the inside, which he is up at the door. This is not where Shepard wants to be. Thunhurst has no idea what he's seeing out the rearview mirror, but if he wants to take a good look at it, he's going to give it an A+ rating out of it. However, though, Shepard clears Kibbe for now. No, Kibbe's there at the door, and Shepard loose off of 2.
And Kibbe loose off of 2 as well. Both of them launched too hard into the corner. Here we go, off turn 4, 7 laps to go. Both drivers nearly spinning at the past 3 entries.
They are pushing it to the limits here at Lanier. It is a drag race in turn number 3. Shepard just the advantage by about a valence. And now he's got it by a door at the line. Critical points here on the line. Shepard does not want to finish in 4th for 2 straight weeks while he watches Thunhurst run away with a victory.
Down to 5 laps to go. This time by Thunhurst leads by 7/10 of a second. Kibbe looking to deny Shepard back-to-back podium opportunities. Kibbe still trying to keep on the inside line. Menda there as well. 4 to go.
Oh, Shepard, beautiful exit. Almost tried to outbrake Kibbe there, but he couldn't. Kibbe now with the advantage by about a fender. Oh, man, this could be big for Kenny Kibbe. Can he just clear Shepard here off the corner? No, he can't. 3 to go.
That's the point of no return as well. If a caution flag comes out here, the race will end under yellow. Kibbe with his best run yet. Shepard holding on by a thread, pushes hard on the gas. Kibbe is clear just about for 3rd with 2 to go. Shepard now under attack from Menda.
Here comes Menda down to the inside. I don't think he's going to get to Shepard, though. Shepard's going to keep it up on the outside. Meanwhile, white flag for Thunhurst. Justin, take it home.
Final time around here at the Lanier Raceplex. The fight continues now for 4th, but for Matthew Thunhurst, he has showed speed from the drop of the green flag. Once he took the lead, he set sail away. Checkered flag, Thunhurst wins at Lanier. Morton 2nd, Kibbe in 3rd.
There was a crash, by the way, at the end, and I think that may have been for a pole inverse spot, and I think it was between Segala and Smith. Coming to the white flag, they got together, and Smith went hard in the inside wall.
Correct. It was for the battle for 10th. Those two were in the battle for the inversion at one point. At the end, Segala ends up getting loose into Kurt Smith. They both slam the inside wall, coming to the white flag. The leaders, though, not impeded by this right here.
Man, that's a hard hit for Smith when you think of it. That's a tough break for both him and Segala. Like we said, at one point they were in the inversion spot. Segala, even after getting so loose while battling for the lead, making his way up with a chance to try and get a front row spot once again. And it unfortunately doesn't work off. Well, Thunhorse parks it in victory lane.
His fifth victory of the season helps expand his lead a touch bit more over his championship rivals. He's already off and away for his celebrations here on Virtual Grip Network. We'll take the chance to look at the unofficial race results. Why don't we, shall we? Since the drivers already getting themselves all set here after Thunhorse came away with the victory over Justin Morton and Kenny Kibbe tonight. Third spot, as mentioned to Kibbe, denies Shepard a podium for a second straight race. Menda and Altis, the top 6. Shane and Moore, the top 8. Hallway and Davis, Chris Davis, Marty, the top 10.
Yeah, first off, give credit to Davis there after having the tough spin there under the yellow, rebounding up to 10th, taking advantage of what happened between Spees, Segala, and Smith. So, Seneca 11th, Liston 12th, Pearson 13th, Segala 14th, Smith 15th, and unfortunately for Steven Spees, he is at the tail of the field tonight.
He's 21 laps down in the end. Post-race coverage, though, is coming up just right after this break. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network for coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Grand National Series, presented by Gargamel's Kitchen. Stay tuned. Welcome back to tonight's coverage of Bootleg Racing League's Grand National Series presented by Gargamel's Kitchen. As we get ready to see how the celebrations are going, what was an intense run for some, but when Matthew Thunhorse found his way to the very front of the field, he ran away from the field, at one point led by about a second and a half. Matt now joins us at the broadcast booth. Matt, first things first, you've won again. How does it feel to once again win, this time at Lanier? It is your 5th of the season.
Yeah, I know a lot of people sit there and like to sit there and say they have the messing of the pants moment. And when I saw Joe send it in to that corner and get loose in front of me, I normally don't like to mess myself. I just like to say I generally almost feel like I have a heart attack where my chest seizes up. And so to go from that to, oh no, my season might be over, to, you know, being able to extend the points lead and get the championship lead even further out there, it's a good feeling. But about another couple virtual feet, and instead of just a cool save by Joe and bouncing off each other, that could have been pretty bad for my championship.
Yeah, that was absolutely a scary moment to say the very least, it seemed, and surprisingly no damage picked up in turn from that. But in terms of this racetrack, though, once you did have things calm down, it seemed like you were untouchable, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I just got really fortunate with Justin and JR battling, and that allowed me to get out there. And I didn't know how well I'd taken care of my tires, especially early on, having to fight that hard on the outside early on. And I didn't know if I damaged them, but, you know, it's kind of like I hinted at last week, where I just done some official races, got around some really fast guys, and kind of learned how to run this place better, and just didn't overdrive entry, didn't tear up the right rear. And yeah, I mean, car felt good. It was that I felt really good during that kind of green run where I got there a good bit, and then we got on the restart and the tires felt a little greasy and wasn't as good as what it felt, but, you know, I still had enough of a car under me to still have a good grasp on the race. So
Now, coming up to the closing stages of the season, and it's going to get intriguing. You have that championship buffer now increase a little bit after tonight in a back-to-back missed podium for Shepard. This is at the same time, mind you, that NASCAR Road for Qualifying iRacing Series is getting underway. Seen you in practice for Daytona, in fact, where based on your iRating totals, you were running around third split. How is it going to be trying to balance championship run for the fun side a bit here, while also trying to go for a NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series run elsewhere?
I mean, personally, it's it's one of those things. My iRating's up there, so I have a shot at it. But I don't really have any expectations. I don't really have a kind of pro team or anybody I'm working with. It's just me learning and trying to get better at setting up the trucks. And so, Daytona didn't go very well. I got wrecked a couple of times and had a poor finish there. So at this point, it's just learning having fun on that side and see if I can give these ARCA cars, which are my favorite cars on the circuit or service, a proper send-off and get a championship here. So, definitely makes me feel better because I thought JR was going to win here. And, with all the hard racing, things got messed up. And, I got fortunate enough to get out front there. And I had Irwindale circled as a wild card because the way that track races. And so just to put a bigger buffer out there and, it's definitely comforting. It's at this point, you don't have to be as aggressive. The lead's there. It's just making sure not to have big mistakes. And tonight almost was a big mistake just because of how things worked out, but I got fortunate there. So definitely had lady luck on my side tonight. So, I think it's that some drivers say better be lucky than good some nights. And I was definitely lucky tonight.
Anybody want to thank for the run tonight?
Yeah, just BRL and Lowell and all the guys in the league. I mean, it was a lot of fun battling tonight. We really mixed it up and a lot of hard racing. It was good stuff. And, Gargamel's Kitchen, of course, for continuing to sponsor us this season and throughout the rest of the year. Appreciate them. And y'all at Virtual Grip Network for not sponsoring, broadcasting at us. It's y'all do a good job with it, so it's always enjoyable to go back and look at some of the moments. So just everybody else involved with this. It's a lot of fun to do this every Saturday night. So thank you.
Congratulations once again on Victory 5 of the campaign.
Thanks, Justin.
Matthew Thunhorst showing good speed. Justin Morton tried to make the high line work for the race lead. Made it work to lead some laps, but in the end, Marty, he finishes in second.
Yeah, that's pretty much my first question there for you, Justin. Just talk about the high line there in that long run and how you were able to get that to work on Segala eventually to take the lead. I know you fell back to finish second, though, but just talk about that right up in the front.
Yeah, pretty much the entire time I was out on that outside, I was thinking, man, I wish I was on the bottom right now. I think I'll just manage to save a little bit better than Joe right at the start of that run, just being behind him. Had something for him. Finally took my chance on it, and it paid off, but not really in the long run. I got shuffled back to fifth. I'm like, oh boy, here it goes. I think I was sixth on the outside at one point. Thought, yep, I'm going to the back. Yeah, I don't know how I managed to keep on that thing. It was feeling like it was wanting to go all over the place.
I'm curious, after you and Segala went side by side for all those laps, definitely did a lot of wear on your tires because we could see you losing a lot of ground to Thunhorst. Did you happen to take a look at your tire wear, how much right front you had after the checkers, or no?
I wanted to. I exited the server and I didn't look at my tires. I normally look at that stuff, and I just forgot about it. I would have liked to see it too.
How much, though, could you tell that right front was worn, though?
Oh, I could tell, definitely. Especially once I got clear of Joe, my tires were super hot and worn compared to Matt and the guys who were behind me who were able to keep running that bottom. They just went right by me like I was nothing.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to tonight on your run?
I'd like to thank my team, Toll Down Force Racing, Pixel Dust for the awesome paint, Gargamel's Kitchen for sponsoring the league, Lowell for running this awesome league, and the great group of guys that have come to join us here. Thank you guys for doing the broadcasting.
Justin, nice run tonight. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.
From one Justin to our commentating Justin, who's got Kenny Kibbe with a third-place run tonight.
Yes, indeed, Kenny Kibbe said he would make a lot of passes. Well, he did so, including in late stages, battling for the podium and getting the podium as the biggest mover, plus 11. Kenny, how would you describe your experience with the pack tonight?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's kind of a struggle. It's really tough to pass, and we kind of lost a little bit of ground at times. We had some starts on the high side, and that whole thing with when Joe kind of lost it, that put a hindrance on our progress there. We lost a few spots from that end to get them back. But yeah, all in all, it was a great race. I figured I was aiming for a top 5, and third would be kind of like a win. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. I just kind of burned my stuff up a little bit in the middle part of the race and didn't have much there at the end.
I was about to say it looked like just about everybody did, because several drivers nearly spun it off the right rear tire. Speeds did spin it off the right rear tire, which helped with the podium situation. How was that trying to manage the loose track conditions in the final 25-30 laps?
Yeah, it gets tricky. I mean, it's kind of all of a sudden where you just start spinning the tires on the exit of the turns, and you really have to try to not do that in these cars. But at the same time, when you're battling for positions, it's all about your corner exit to set up the pass, and so you really got to lay on the throttle to make that happen and get up next to somebody. But so when you do that late in the going, it gets pretty tough. And there was a few times where I had a really good run started, but I just spun the tires and couldn't quite make the move. So it was tricky. These cars require a lot of finesse to drive.
Well, your reward for being the biggest mover and finishing on the podium? You get to start in the heart of the pack at Martinsville. Your thoughts on the paperclip?
Yeah, it's a tricky track. We've had success there before. It's one of those places where you just got to kind of hit your marks, and yeah, hopefully I can kind of stay out of trouble and make my way up forward. At least it'll be better than starting 14th, that's for sure. So hopefully we can make our way up through there, and hopefully I'll actually have a spotter next week, because I turned my spotter off to interview you guys at the beginning there.
Oh!
I forgot to turn it back on, so I ran that race without a spotter. So that was interesting. But
You're crazy, dude.
yeah, we'll get that fixed for next week.
I have to really quickly touch upon how difficult was it trying to track the cars around you without the spotter then at Lanier?
I mean, it's in front of me is fine. You know, I know when I'm on somebody's inside or not, but the tricky part was getting clear, especially if I was on the outside trying to clear down. I had to really mirror watch, like as if I was at Daytona or Talladega, really watch the mirror more than in front of me. And I think that was kind of the hardest part. But luckily, you know, everybody here races really clean, gives me a lot of space, and that makes it a lot easier to do when everybody gives you space.
Anyone you want to thank for the run tonight?
Yeah, just everybody at Bootleg Racing League for coming together every week, putting on some awesome racing. You guys at Virtual Grip Network for broadcasting the races, and everybody likes to ride on board with me on Twitch every weekend, and yeah, it's been a fun time.
Thank you very much, Kenny.
Thanks.
That's Kenny Kibbe rounding out your podium today. I'd like to thank him, Justin Morning, Matthew Thunhorse for taking the time to speak with us during today's post-race coverage. And Marnie, as mentioned, this race is going to be very critical for Matthew in turn for the championship. A few more points picked up. That may be a near championship clincher based on how tightly those two have been racing.
Yeah, of course not official. Yeah, you and I talked about this during the break. Actually, I think I said this to you. It's up to a 7-point lead for Thunhorst after what went down. If I'm J.R. Shepard, I'm thinking to myself, darn it, what is it going to take to close on in? He's in big trouble now with 3 races to go. Finishing ahead pretty much of Matthew Thunhorst by 1 position, of course, just won't cut it. You need to try and match him. You got to told that Thunhorst has some difficult races these next few weeks.
Did I mention Matthew Thunhorst has an average finish of first this season as the series leader in victories? Well, you can see partly why with the performance tonight. Once again, we'd like to remind you that this series is... Go ahead, Marty, first.
Yeah, sorry. He's hungry. After he was unable to miss that final race of the season due to all the commitments, which gave Shepard that championship. Thunhorst, he's hungry. He wants that title.
See how things fare over the next couple weeks. Keep in mind that this series is presented by Gargamel's Kitchen, a food-grade nitrous oxide provider located in Denver, Colorado, and a proud sponsor of the Bootleg Racing League. Our office at 2045 South Valentia Street, or give them a call at 720-707-6178. The next time the Grand National Series is on the racetrack is, as mentioned, at Martinsville, that being March the 5th, Be sure to buckle up, get your pillows, and securely place them all over your race cars, because you never know what's going to happen at the track that brings mayhem. Once again, coverage starts 8:55 p.m. Eastern Time. Virtual Grip Network, meanwhile, will be on the air in just a little while, in a couple days' time, with PGRL Premier Series action getting itself quickly rolling on forward. Last time out went to Auto Club. Be sure to buckle up, though, for what's expected to be an intriguing third race of the campaign in just a few days' time. With that, though, we'd like to thank you for tuning in for tonight's action, the Bootleg Racing League Grand National Series presented by Gargamel's Kitchen. For my broadcast partners and I am Marty Sakawa, for our producer Daniel Handover, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening and weekend. This has been a production of the Virtual Grip Network. Congratulations to your winner, Matthew Thunhorst at Lanier.